Personal Journey Overcoming Anxiety. Anxiety weighing heavy? Lighten the load with our support. This course set me on the path to success. Don't wait. Begin your journey today.
Yeah, I think problem. But yeah, just let me know if y'all have a problem with my audio. I think it's correct. Run it back really quick recap. My mic wasn't working, but I'm not sure what you guys heard or not today before we get back into the video. For February the 5th, 2026. Seek my face and you will find not only my presence but also my peace. To receive my peace, you must change your grasping, controlling stance to one of openness and trust. The only thing you can grasp without damaging your soul is my hand. Ask my spirit within you to order your day and control your thought, life, and peace. You can have as much of me and my peace as you want, though through thousands of correct choices each day, the most persistent choice you face is whether to trust me or to worry. You will never run out of things to worry about, but you can choose to trust me no matter what. I am an ever present help in troubled times. Trust me, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea. This was inspired by the book of Romans, chapter 6, and also was inspired by the book of Psalms, chapter 46, verse 1 through 2. It's a pretty in season word for today. Pretty powerful as well. It's really hard to trust. Sometimes our far on the up and up. God, as it seems, we feel like we're empowered to do as we please, and that's good enough. My quote for today is in life, through it all, you must remain balanced. Just keep balance and maintain that balance. So you ride horse and you forget where you come from, and you never fall too low to where you're at the point of no return and age in life and become all that you're destined to be. So yeah, that's what the balance is about. Just trying to maintain a steady pace in life, maintain a steady attitude. And attitude is something that you can be adjusted to. Advocate for mental health awareness, and I always preach and talk about energy as well as vibes, because I believe that success is 90% mindset and 10% skills that anyone can apply. Any skills that you desire in life. To be patient is a skill, something that you must practice and apply and utilize from time to time. Patience isn't an easy thing to obtain, but it's something obtainable, achievable as well. I pray for patience as a young, knowing how people can be unruly, but knowing that doesn't change who I am and who I am determined to be. So I just prayed as a young man for patience to deal with things, people, places, and stuff like that. And every chance I get to exhilarate my patience, I practice that. I try to be patient as I can, and not just to say I tolerate things, but there is something to learn from when your triggers are being triggered. You're being Your buttons are being pushed or whatnot. Even with it's very uncomfortable, it's very uncertain, it's very scary. Nevertheless, as an adult, we seem to comfort ourselves with whatever things that make us feel good about ourselves, whether they be lies or whether they be true. We can tell ourselves that we're not good enough at one thing because we simply don't want to fail. We're tired of failing in life at certain things and just period in general, right? But anyway, I say that to say this: with each other as human beings, we must have trust before we step into an agreement. And once we step into that agreement, we must be faithful to uphold that commitment. That you're gonna treat somebody right, not hurt or harm them, protect them, love them right, and all of these things above, right? So when it comes to having a spiritual relationship with whoever you believe in, whether it be Buddha, Allah, Jesus Christ, or whatever, right? You got to trust that your spirit man's take. You need time to figure out how you feel, figure out what thoughts to be entertaining. That's why I advocate for mental health awareness. And that's why this Bible, not this Bible, but this inspirational book was talking about guarding your thoughts. The hardest thing to do is to focus on Christ, even when times are good, especially when times are bad. But if you want true peace, this is just saying to spend time in God's word. Been thinking about that a lot lately. Like, my commitment to spend more time with Christ and my walk with Christ, and just to the things that was illuminated to me, enlightening me about my path and how I could tighten up who I am as an individual, as a business owner, as a parent, a brother, a sibling, all of those things, just so that I could be a better person for myself, to be better for others. Blessings are a community of things. It's a collateral things. It's a it's a when you get a job, it's a blessing that they seeing favor on you to allow you to become an employer. And with that, you are able to take care of your family, your friends. So it's like when you get blessed, people around you get blessed. When you suffer, people around you suffer. So, with that being said, it's important to be mindful of how we treat ourselves, and for the people that we care about, to be a little bit mindful of people that's not seeming to be their regular selves. You know, the people that motivate the world, the ones that people from time to time, make sure their mental health is okay. Make sure that they're doing all right. I took a little break myself to inspire myself. You know, inspiration comes from within. I can watch a lot of videos and be motivated, but once that motivation is gone, if I don't have anything inside myself to keep myself going, I'll never be fulfilled, right? So it's important to know that it's all right to take a break. It's all right to fall back from time to time. Having motion doesn't mean always being busy. It just means that you have a direction and you're headed that way. Preserve your energy to see towards that finish line is what it's about. The marathon continues even once you take a break and you pause to reflect on your journey. That's important in life. When you sit back and reflect on your mistakes, that's how you learn life, so that you can see a different path to take to help you get to your final destination, to become who that you desire to be. Even with that being said, I spent a little time just getting to know me, knowing what makes me happy, what I really want from life. And sometimes you got to redefine yourself, who you are, what it is in life that makes you happy, what in life that you should be aiming towards, what challenges should you be picking up, you know? We all have choices 24 have to take. We choose which path is less resistant. We choose what future we want to experience. And with that being said, it's not about how fast you get there. It's not about who goes with you. It's just about taking the next step after the next step. No matter how many times you fail, no matter how many distractions come cutting off your view from you seeing your way forward. It's just about having faith and trust that when God gives you a vision, God gives you something in your heart, you're inspired to become something, you're inspired to try something different. You have to trust that you can become that. Find a nice tree, got to navigate through this small world in the grass, not sure where the trees are at, if they're going to get stepped on, different things like that, right? And it's just a perspective from looking at the world and what the world goes through and not always being a victim of the world from when things aren't going your way. But anyway, to this perspective of a caterpillar, right? Their life isn't about crawling on the ground. Their life is about taking rest, getting to that destination, and breaking free to fly. As human beings have a similar transition in life. We go from not knowing, from being small lads on the ground, into having faith that our Creator has created something in us more beautiful than what we're going through, more beautiful than our circumstances and situations. Meaning you just stay faithful, even when you're doing the right thing and you're not seeing any results, knowing you're on the right path, nothing's working out. That doesn't mean you're a failure. That doesn't mean that it's the end. It just means that you're being molded. And once you go through struggles, you're going to be more equipped with things that make you not easily breakable. You'll be in solid ground, you know. You see a lot of these sculptures, a lot of these buildings, they only there because they're on solid ground. They got a solid foundation. No matter the storms that's coming, no matter then when the ground earthquake shakes, those buildings are still standing because they're on a solid foundation. And that's exactly what it's like when you're in tune with your creator. The trials and tribulations in the world that you encounter, it won't take you out of your knowledge of knowing who you are. These things won't make you so shaky and to be trembling and changing who you are inside and constantly redefining who you are. You know, as the world is going through identity crisis because whenever something happens, they're not strong in their faith. They're not strong in who they are. A lot of people don't even know who they are. They're not comfortable within their own skins. And I had to spend some time to inspire myself to put that life inside of me because inspiration only comes from within. I can't enlighten someone that's not really feeling it, you know? Just like motivation, you could be feeling it a little bit. The motivation can help water your dreams and goals, or it could just give you a little bit more spark to leave and let go. The same way with the word, the living word, the true word. People go to church all the time, right? And you wonder if they're Christian or not. And it's simply because they get inspired. They know they want to do right. They go to church, they hear the word, they're motivated. But as soon as they get outside, they're distracted by the worldly things again. That inspiration is now gone. That's set in their heart. That word is not there anymore. And it's like nothing in the world can get it back in it until you fall on hard times and you're ready to call on Christ again. But that's not for every individual. Some people, they use it, they share it, and it's keeping them going. Excuse me. Pardon me. But yeah, holiness just means being set apart, mindset being set apart from the world, thinking differently than the world thinks, and etc. These past few weeks, coming into the 26th, even just this year alone, I've been just like spending some time with myself, recreating myself, sometimes we lose ourselves, found again, meaning we go through certain things in life, traumatize you, and you do a lot of things to hide the pain, to deal with it or not deal with it. And through it all, you come out someone totally different. You look in the mirror and not recognize who you used to be. And in those times, you have to really figure out who you want to be, and you have to recreate yourself, design yourself. And again, I find myself doing it time again, and this is one of those times. Mentally, I feel like I'm in a loop where I'm replaying moments in my life, feelings in my life where it's just it is what it is. No matter what I do, no matter what I think about, it just feel like I'm in a loop. Like oblivion. It's just like an oblivion state, right? And really, what that means is just I'm going through a transition in life. Who I am, or who I used to be, is no longer serving me. It's no longer benefiting me to who I need. Transitioning into someone different, someone who I don't know yet, and it feels weird. My reality doesn't match up with anything that I feel like. It's kind of like I'm catching up to my new life or something like that. It's a weird time in my life, to be honest. And also, it's a time where it's hard to trust God, where changes are happening. They're not happening the way that I would like them to, but nevertheless, change is happening. Change is inevitable. And just prepare for the best, prepare for the worst. But, I'm just putting myself in position to handle the worst and to handle the best because, like I say, it's about being balanced. Sometimes things go from bad to worse, and from worse to even worse than that, and you have to be prepared for it. Life is full of twists and turns, ups and downs. You don't know. Me, I like to live it. That's what life is about. If I had it all figured out, I wouldn't enjoy this life as much. It wouldn't be a mystery because I know it all. So that's where our trust in God comes from because He's the author of our lives. He's the creator of our lives, and He's the one who's constantly putting the edits in for us when we go off course. And sometimes we get so lost in this world, we can't even hear God calling us when we're walking into danger. And that's where those NDAs happen, near death experiences, where you just too far away from God and He called you back. He give you one last chance to grace into His presence because that's the the red flag about your mindset being conformed to the world. The world will lead you to your death, demise, and destruction. You see a lot of people nowadays are off all type of drugs, lusting. Everything on social media is about basically sex. You look on there, young women, men, everybody on their clothes off, and it's just like wow, no morals. Nobody really wanna. It is what it is, right? To each his own. I'm not judging. I'm just saying what I see when I look on the internet. It don't matter if it's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all of the social medias. It's no bars, like it's no rules. Unless you're talking about Christ, well then you get censored, you get flat. If you're talking about enlightening people's mindset for them to start thinking for themselves, for them to take off the blinders and start to see the world for what it is. For anybody who, just think for themselves, they don't really get pushed in the algorithm. I don't do this for client fame, clout, and stuff like that. I just get on here to put out a message, to hopefully to enlighten someone, inspire someone, and help save them from a life of damnation. Help turn that light on and lead them down a righteous path. It's not easy, but it is simple. You just choose to follow Christ each day. I often think like why Jesus was killed because he was out here playing game. It's the same nowadays. You be careful who and how you treat people, who you treat and how you treat them, because you never know if you're entertaining an angel and or something different. But with that being said, when Jesus was around, he was a type people looked over him. He wasn't a desirable man. He wasn't a person that was really flashy or things like that. He was a person that'll come, cross your paths, and your life would be a little bit better from being that he exchanges, that carries. That's the type of energy he brings wherever he goes. So people was running to him just to touch his clothes because they're like, yeah, you got that energy. It's something about you. It's something about the way that you move. It's something about you, the way that you carry yourself. People was curious. It wasn't because he was like, I'm God's son. I am God, nigga, and you gonna serve me. No, it was not none of that stuff. He wasn't boastful. He wasn't proudful. And like in First Corinthians chapter 13, what love really is what he embodied. He was patient. He was kind. He was forgiving. He was slow to wrath. It's are the characteristics besides what us human beings use it as is for a quick manipulation tool or an emotional support tool, right? Love really isn't about what we make it about nowadays. It's more so about characteristic traits to let you know if someone loves you or not. And when Jesus accept us into his kingdom, whenever you start to believe in him, that's all that it takes is believe. You don't have to pay any money, rituals, or sacrifices or nothing. Simply believe that Jesus is God and he came in the flesh and he died for our sins. And to be a real true believer, you will get baptized and you will be born again. It is a ritual if you say so. Or if you think about it that way, it is what it is, right? But anyway, it's just like with anything. Like if you want to become a Buddhist, you have to go get the Gohans and you'll have to go through the steps like that. And as far as Islam as well, you will have to go to the mosque. And it's a lot of different steps to become where it is that you serve and worship, right? Or believe in. Just like if you want to be in a gang, the initiations, you want to be at ISIS, I heard they do hazing and stuff like that. You want to be a Greek, pledge Greek, you're going to do what they do to become part of that organization, right? So I say that to say this, like it is steps to become official, but in the meantime, just believing is good enough. And why do I say all of this is because the world wants you to think that it's an easy way to success. It's not. Some people achieve things quicker and faster, but that's those people's journey, and that's what's for those people. Not saying that they're better than you or you're better than anyone. But what God has for you, He has for you, and no one can take away. Now, we do mess up our blessings from talking too much sometimes. You know, you telling the wrong people too much information, people that don't care about your dreams, who don't see your vision, who are not headed in the same direction as you. They can then birth doubt in your heart from talking too much into your goals or values. They don't support you, and now you don't support yourself. That's what I mean by talking too much and talking to too fast. You have to impregnate your dreams. You think about it, something for you. You know, you got to hold that, mold that until it becomes something official, till it becomes something real, and then everybody can see what it is for itself, right? Just like when you're cooking up an idea as an entrepreneur, you stuff, you get to get some stuff. You know, you working out a situation, you using your brain, your full mental capacity to figure out a reality that you can live that'll be productive, successful, and bring you happiness, right? I mean, that's what everybody set goals for, right? For an experience of happiness, to achieve that, to experience that, or whatnot, right? But anyway, at the end of the day, the mind is a terrible. The mind is where the battle ends, and for some people, that battle has already ended with you already know, right? Like these mental health issues that people have, the skits, the drug addicts, the addictions that people have with pornography and lying, stealing, whatever, right? These are mental battles that people can't win. Whenever those thoughts come into mind, they engage in them, they entertain them until where they're feeling a way about it, and now all of a sudden they're enacting. Well, whatever they felt was saying, like you become in a loop like that. For me, my loop, this is I feel like a horse, right? You know, when you're in a horse race, you have to carry it in front of it. I think it's a carrier, right? You put something in front of the horse and they're running to get it, knowing they'll never get it. That's the loop that I feel. And it's like, you know, the devil like, yeah, come on around, come on around, come on around. But now it's like I'm not even racing anymore. I'm just watching myself and trying to be like, okay, so this is the distraction. This is need to be cut go. This is a stronghold. And, you know, different put back together and take out the pieces, leave out the pieces that's not serving me. Whether it be my own ideologies, right? Like you could be like, if I cut my hair, maybe I won't feel a way or whatever, or maybe if I start dressing a different way, like whatever, right? I got some lucky pair of socks. Maybe if I wear these only on Thursdays instead of, you know, stuff like that, right? Like whatever you think. I'm just throwing stuff out there. Feel like certain J's do bring you certain enhanced abilities, right? Like stones and crystals. I used to always have different. I'm not saying they all do the same thing, but I know certain ones do certain things, and it's just what it is, right? This is called. Uh, you could call it whatever you want to. You could call it magic. You could call it alchemy or whatever, right? Where you manipulating energy. That's what. And to be careful with that as well, because you f around and find out like not everything is for everybody, and it's a time and a place for everything, right? Just like with the moon, people do moon magic, and what the moon is like this, right? Whenever the moon is a full moon, the tides raise. I can't even spell it out. So the moon does this, right? It amplifies water. It like brings it to the surface. Whatever is up, it pulls it up. Is moon, and you could do like this, right? Like your intentions. You will fill up a cup of water. You'll be like, all right, this is for financial blessings, for financial overflow, for money in my pockets, money in all my accounts. This is for whatever, right? And then you're filling that water up, you'll set it out, put a top over it, and you'll set it up, let the moon amplify what you felt, what you put inside that cup. And then before you'll get it and drink it all up. And now you're just putting all those good vibes in. And then throughout the day, the next day, whatever, those situations start arising. It just be amplified like, oh, okay, here go a money situation for me to up my portfolio, or here goes something for me to double my finances, or something like that, right? It's just like the universe just unroll out a situation for you. And water holds memory. Besides the moon, this is something that's scientifically proven that water holds memory. So, like, if you're even thoughts, right? And you can prove it like this, and I'll show you a good example. You'll get a cup, right? You filling up this cup with water. You say love, love. I'm thinking about love. Freeze that cup, and then when you pull it out, the you'll see a design in that water that's a representation of love. How the frequencies of love it'll vibrate in that water and it'll hold that memory. And then if you put another one in there and say happiness, it will make a different pattern, and it'll be in there. Let me show you really quick. Okay, so y'all don't water holds memory. It's pretty dope. Like I know a lot about a little bit about a lot of things, but I don't know everything. I know a lot about a lot of different stuff. You never know what comes in handy and what might help save your life one day, and or what might help nation, right? But y'all check this out. Let me just do this one. So like, so you imagine this, right? Like I just showed you what type of different designs it make. When you're putting those beautiful things inside your body, you're giving your aura field more to vibrate to. Like where the mind goes, attention goes, energy goes. And these three things are powerful for manifestation. Frequency, you can't attract those things to come into your life, right? It doesn't attract. And I'm not saying to go out and do this because not every full moon will bring you this energy and it'll bring, the correct thing. But this is something people do. It's something that works. I remember Peter Popoff, and I'm always tell my story about this guy because he had me experiencing some stuff that I wasn't ready for. And that's why it's important to do your own research amongst people who have relationships with God and who move accordingly. And not everybody who smile in your face and who come in the name of Jesus Christ is a child of God, right? They're not a child of Jesus Christ. You will know who your brethren are from the works they do. You will see the fruits they bear from their activities. They don't shine any light on the world. They're not children of the light. But anyway, I used to be up at night like now, just on spiritual stuff, trying to get closer to God, get closer to, because we're made of God, and the closer I get to myself, the closer I get to God. So that's what I be on. Some old just thinking about a lot of stuff. I think a lot. Um, anyway, right? So I'm up late night watching these videos about miracle water. how to bring stuff in your life. And it's kind of funny that I was just showing that video and now we talk about this miracle water, which I didn't know the significance back then as I do now. But I called them, we in communication, we're corresponding through the ministry. I was writing to the ministry, they writing back to me and whatnot. We was doing this for like probably 7, 8 months. And I ain't gonna lie, throughout that time I was receiving everything that I was praying for. We was coming together in prayer for different things that I needed at that time. I was like 17 years old, um, 16, 17, or yeah, about 16, 17, because I was in Job Corps at the time. And I might have been a little younger than that. About somewhere around there, not too old. But anyway, if you haven't heard of him, he was a guy on TV from back in early 2010 or something like that. No, he was like around 2004ish, Peter Popoff. But anyway, when I was in agreements with this dude and we was like, I was working with his ministry and stuff like that, low key, he had me doing rituals. Everything that we was doing was working. Like I pray for money and get the money. Never worry about money. Never worry. Until one time I was like, he gave me some seeds. It was some perennials, I think it was like some type of fruit. No, not fruit, but flower tree seeds, right? And my spirit was like, don't bury them seeds. Don't even open that package, right? Like God was just telling me, like, don't open that, don't plant that, don't mess with the stuff. And I set it to the side and left it alone. And one thing about me, like I always been spiritual. I always been walking with God. I continue to walk with God, right? Because I'm not a perfect person, nor will I ever be. I make mistakes along my path, but I do try to be a reflection of Christ, right? But anyway, so uh, and I thought I was serving God in this way by dealing with His people, His prophets, His ministers, His people in position to teach and lead, right? And nowadays, even back then I didn't care because I was thinking every person who's speaking for Jesus and they got the spiritual power to do so. I grew up seeing all type of stuff like possessions. So as far as the spirit world concerned, to me as a young man, I knew it was real. I knew it was stuff that was unexplainable, hard to explain, and I just knew that it was more than the physical, more than what we can see going on in this world. And for the people who was doing this God work, I thought that they all was good people. I thought they all was tapped in, right? And a lot of people, it goes back from the days of Moses and Aaron. Moses was a chosen man, as you all know, and Aaron, his brother, he was the one that was speaking for Moses. Aaron was the priest. And said God made Aaron the high priest. He was the one who interceded for the children of Moses. I mean, the children of Israel, the 13 tribes. He had a breastplate with different rubies on his chest, representing each tribe of Israel. And with that being said, similar to what the Pope does now, this was the person that go intercede to God personally for the land of his people. Basically, burning up sacrifices for what God had Aaron and his sons do as far as interceding for everybody, right? And this was before Jesus came down. Now that you could just go straight through Jesus to God, but at first it was Aaron's people, his sons, all of the high priests, who was the ones that you go to for prayers, and just like the rabbi, right? The rabbi, all of this type of stuff is the same stuff, but this is where it started, and this is why it started because he used to go and just he was doing with Moses, right? And he'll basically go pray or whatever, woo woo that. So I'm thinking like people do have a connection with God. They do move mountains in the name of God. I've seen people do miraculous things. Not saying that they are doing it themselves, but through the power of Christ, you can do some powerful things, right? I've witnessed it. But anyway, this guy, Peter Popoff, and I'm about to end this really soon, and just for yourself, because you can't be in agreements with the enemy. They come with all nice gifts, come with nice words, they come with everything that you want and need at the moment. But what they don't come with is the love of God. They don't come with pure intentions. So, long story short, I'm praying to him, praying with him for money, getting the money all the time, and I'll send a little bit back to him every time. Cause he'll be like, if you need $100, sow a seed of and stuff like that, right? Like we was doing number magic, ritual, all of this stuff, right? Now looking back, I know what it is. But back then it's just like, oh, this is a man of God. Just like if you go to church, they're like, we finna do communion. This is cannibalism. You're eating the blood and drink. Like when you really think about it, that's what it really is. But when you're young baby in Christ, you don't think of these things. You don't look at it this way, and you just honestly really don't know, right? But anyway, I was doing this with him for a while. Like he'd be like send $777 because what we was doing, and it seemed too odd to be like, all right, I'll put some whatever, right? It was some weird stuff I was doing, to be honest. I didn't think of it that way, but I'm getting my prayers answered. I'm not really realizing I'm doing magic and spells and rituals and all this type of shit, right? But anyway, once I stopped and I realized like God was telling me the last thing he wanted me to do kind of sat in my spirit, like I'm doing some weird stuff. I don't want to do this. Like, and if God want to bless me, Lord, I really need to do it. Like I started thinking about that stuff, and then it really said I need to leave this man alone and as quick as you can because you're getting in too deep. So when I didn't plant those seeds in the ground, because that was some root work, I believe he wanted me to plant the seeds in the ground or whatever, right? But anyway, I didn't do it. The next week, he sent another letter like, "Man, I'm feeling the spirit like I ain't getting to you, whatever. Ooh, like you back on." Something like that. Basically, it was a letter. It was like you're backing down, like you know what I'm saying. If you want to get back in God, and I was like, yeah, whatever, I'm done with you. So after I didn't respond to that second letter, no more letters. But guess what? I started having night terrors. The third week was it kind of happened like this, right? So I'm fighting in my sleep every night. I'm getting chased by something or somebody for night after night after night. I don't know how long this was going on, probably for like 2 to 3 weeks. And then one night I'm tired of running. I just turn around and try to fight. I swing, miss, but I'm waking up at the same time to see in my sleep and moving at the same time while I'm asleep. It's kind of weird, I didn't know I'm moving in my sleep, but hey, I caught myself. So the next night when I realized like damn, I had to fight in my sleep and I'm really fighting. So let me lay on my stomach so I don't be punching nothing or I don't want to hurt myself while I'm asleep, right? So I do that, turn around while I'm asleep, lay on my back. I twist and turn, but when I turn on my back now, it's like something just hopped on me, was waiting on me to turn around. Then like, oh, and I'm like, that one hop was enough because my chest in and I can't breathe now from this point on. I'm whoa, like I can't even move my body, nothing, just my eyeballs. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, man, I never had this happen to me before. I'm frozen in my body. I can't even really breathe at this point, and my breath is going away. It's really being took up out of me, right? So now I'm like, what the fuck? I'm tweaking now. I'm really, really panicking. I'm starting to panic because I'm like, damn, I can't really sleep. I'm uncomfortable now, and I still can't move. I can't breathe, and now I can't talk. So I'm like, this is crazy. But I'm conscious knowing what's going on. So I'm like, am I stuck in my body or what? But when I'm trying to even think about that, I'm trying to rationalize what's going on. Here's this big demon just standing there, like, And then when I really look again, I'm like, oh no, like you the one doing this. Yeah, I know. I'll take your breath out. You know what I'm saying? Like the scariest red eyes you'll ever see. Like the recording red button you just see there looking. And he got these horns. He's really tall. He's really black, and he's really, really angry. And you can just feel a presence. He don't say a word. You can just feel it in the air. It's like if you hotboxing a car, some cigarettes or some loud, and you just like, yeah, I feel it out there. I'm getting a woozy. Like whoa, it's very scary. It's very, very. But the thing about my wrist, who I dead to, my late great sister Angela Glenn, she was like, if you ever have in a situation, because we talk about God a lot too, and she was like, just say in the name of Jesus or something like that. So that's the only thing I could think of when that was going on, and I'm seeing this demon face to face, and I'm like, I think he finna kill me. If ever I was feel like I'm gonna die, this is it. And he got total control, So I'm like, and then finally I break free, I can move again. He gone, he just dipped. I guess when Jesus came, he was like, I gotta go. It's too much light. Because I sleep in the darkness. I like it like that. All dark, no lights, no sound, nothing, just black, pitch black. And I don't be scared. I like it like that. I'm weird or whatever. And I like it cool a little bit, a little cold, a little bit. It be feeling good. And what's crazy is like I seen, I had it like night after night after night. I had it for years. And the last time I had it was like a year and a half ago. But like that's the thing about connecting with the wrong spiritual people. This stuff is for eternity. You got to really, really keep praying to God. You got to fast and all type of stuff, right? Because when I stopped dealing with dude, I started having years later. It was like, oh, he was a fraud. He was doing this. Like, wow, that's crazy. I sure was sending him my money. So I was like, I'm thank God that, and a lot of stuff like my path has been crazy, like just with God, like it ain't been no just clear shot. I practiced Buddhism for a while, and that was something that God took me out of too. I was like, if it's not for me, let me know. I always say that to God too, like I'm trying my best, I'm trying to do what I do, but if something not for me, guide me away from it, take it away from me. If that's surely I start to see things just disappear out of my life. But when I was dealing with dude that opened the door to all type of stuff, I saw I think they call it shadow people or something like that. This well, you see a shadow, right? You just see a shadow, but imagine it with blue eyes. Like if you could see my eyes, my eyeballs, but inside of a shadow. That was the demon that I saw. One of the two. It was one with red eyes, one with yellow eyes. They both was really tall, and they both was just like you could feel their presence. Like if I don't really know how to explain it, but it's a strong, thick feeling. Like you can just feel it coming in. Like imagine if you didn't have this body and you could just feel yourself outside of yourself. So, and you feel somebody else's presence, right? So imagine that, but their presence is more ominous and more dark and more. It's just fear. Like this is what it feels like. You don't see anything, but you can feel it coming from a direction, and you feel it really heavy. It's just like the heaviness hanging around. You ever heard somebody say there's a dark cloud hanging over? It's a strong, heavy feeling. That's exactly what. That's the only way that I could describe it. It's like if you were to die and go to hell, this is not something you would want to come. It's torture right away. You feel it coming, but you don't see it. But you know what direction it's coming from, and it's like what is he? What what's gonna happen? And you don't know. And you like, man, now you just preparing for the worst. And then all of a sudden it's like, like if your soul being put out your body, you can't breathe, and it's like, oh shit, if I die right now, this ain't how I want to go. Like you start thinking about stuff that really matters to you, like for my son, was I happy? You start thinking about every little thing that really matters to you, right? And it's like, damn, if this is my final moment, like what can I do? But go out like this, or like like it's a lot to think about in a very quick moment. And it's like, you think about a lot in a quick moment, and then it's like, you know what, no, I'm gonna fight this. I know what this is. It's a spiritual attack, and you start to fight it, and it goes. It's real, it's something really real. And whether it's somebody putting it on you, or just because you want to be a child of God, the devil do not like you, and he will come for you, whether physically or through somebody else. Because he come for me physically a few times, and through other people all the time. But when he comes physically, you'll know, because it's no friendly greeting. That's why, even if I didn't know Jesus, I would have found him some way. I would have had these experiences no matter what, because of who I am, the world. My spirit has been time and time again seeking knowledge. I'm always seeking truth. And I believe it's in my DNA for me to do so. So whenever I have a life experience, meaning like, I don't believe this is my first time here on earth, my first time reincarnated. I believe like I must have been different people, different things. But every lifespan I've had, I feel like, and I believe that I was the type to go seeking knowledge above all else. Like if you ask me one thing I want in the world, is I want to learn. I want to know things. I don't really care about money. I don't care about fashion. I don't care about food, drinks. I care about knowledge. Like that's what really makes me happy, learning new things. Secondly, the things that I can do with things, of course, tools like money. I like weapons. I like a lot of different stuff, but overall, I like knowledge, something that nobody can take away from you. It's something that nobody can earn. Not everybody knows how to tie their shoes. Not everybody knows how to read. Not everybody know how to ride a bike. Surprisingly, right? You don't think so, but it's something that I learned how to do, and nobody can unlearn that for me, unless I was to lose my memory, right? But if I was to lose my memory, I can also get it back by relearning. That's why I say success to me is 90% mindset and 10% skills. The 10% skills that you could gain if applied to yourself. You want to apply. So I feel like God always been watching me, because like no matter what experience I have in this flesh, whether I'm black, white, Indian, I'm going to be a person that's seeking knowledge, a person that's seeking truth, because I love to live in truth. I'm not saying that I'm true to myself, to my goals and dreams, because some things that I need to let go and be real with about myself, that I could be my best self. But like I say, it's a battle of the mind that I'm fighting each day as well. And the battle never stops. It's always ongoing. Spending a little time with my meditating, learning myself, and learning to have discernment when God is trying to speak, so that I can know if it's God speaking or not. This is the way that God saved me from really, really attaching myself to these demons that dude was putting on me. Because even when I stopped writing him, I stopped, communicating with him, I still had those doors open with spiritual attacks that I faced years after that encounter. And this was, I met him one time in person, and when I got there, I was staying in Kenosha at the time, so he sent me some tickets to come to Chicago to the Hilton Hotel. He had what was like a webinar, not a webinar, Hilton Hotel, Magnificent Mile in Chicago. That's downtown almost. But anyway, it was like 500 people in there, and it's like he had everybody under lock and control. Like, they was running up there to give him money, and it was just something that didn't sit right with me in my spirit. I was like, this guy is like, he got everybody under his spell, under his control. Like, if he say jump, they finna get up and do it. If he say empty y'all bank accounts, they finna do it. I think how he was having people. It, something not right about it. It didn't seem like God was there. It seemed like it was a concert, and I didn't go for that. I thought I was going to meet a man of God that's doing godly things. And one of my chicks hit me up. She like, yo, come chill with me. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm finna catch the last train anyway. So this right on time. And it be things like that too, where God be like, man, come on up out of there. It could be people, places, things. They try to get your attention so that you won't be tied to or bound with these people when they're coming for a judgment. You ever hear somebody say party to a crime here in America? You go to jail for being around the wrong crowds. You go to jail for not calling the police if you witness a crime. It's called party too. You witness something happen and you ain't tell, or you're just as guilty. So they say, right? But that's how it is, though. Like, if your spirit telling you something not right and you carry on within those, it's called the watchman, right? This is what I do right now as a watchman. I get out here, I tell people what I know about Christ. I don't tell you what I think or believe because that's not going to help you know anything for it to be true. I don't really care what people believe as well because beliefs can change at the drop of a dime. You'll believe some one minute, you'll believe some the next. Just depending on your experience, that'll make your belief more solid or less sustainable. Anyway, if you know God, you spend time getting to know God, you will know without a doubt that you can move in power and that God protects you and that things can happen. And you can feel like how I feel from time to time. Like, life can be better, yes. I'm struggling, I'm going through things. I'm not where I want to be in life, but I'm not where I have been. And I'm thankful for that. It's easy to be unthankful, to let go of gratitude when things aren't going right, when you don't know what the future is going to be like, when worry starts to set. The market is crazy right now. The job economy. Not everybody have a job right now, and it's just what it is. It's hard enough for people to find jobs. Even people with jobs, they're not happy. Most of them, they're working somewhere just to make ends meet because we're all trying to survive. For those of us who haven't had a job and who's struggling to get one, you turn to entrepreneurship. I've been making money off my side hustles. I've been making money off just my creative thinking. Been making money off of all types of stuff, but not a W-2. Pieces I put out, they'll still pick someone over me because of my background and because you can say because I'm black or whatever, but that may have something to do with it, may not. It's just simple fact that this is my journey right now, trying to figure out how to figure it out. Even as an entrepreneur, you got to constantly do things. You got to constantly reinvent yourself. You got to constantly innovate things. You got to constantly pivot from one step to the next. And sometimes you have to put your dreams to the floor, pick up another dream, start stepping on that one so that you can pick this one up. It's just so that one thing can finally get there. It's not that you're giving up, it's being realistic. And that's what I'm doing with myself right now. Like, certain things I have to pause so that I can embark on new challenges to embrace myself and to keep myself going. That's how people begin to be happy in life when you're trying new things. As adults, we become unhappy and miserable because we get scared to try new things. Older folks who are looking young and living good, they're constantly trying new things. They're challenging them. Super dramatic, but I encourage you to challenge yourself. Like challenging myself to learn something I haven't done before. I've tried it before, I failed, but this time I'm trying it again. So just from failing, it's hard to get over that I'm going to fail again. I worry about that. But it's not nothing to be afraid of. It's something to run closer to. It's not like I'm going to always fail. And if I do, it's just I'm not taking data, I'm not analyzing my mistake, retake that scene. You know, that's what life is about. As you get older, challenge yourself to walk around the block 2 times. Challenge yourself to read a book. Challenge yourself to eat healthy for a week. Challenge yourself. That's what life is about. If you're feeling down, you're feeling out, give yourself some grace. Be merciful with yourself. A lot of people are in credit card debt because they haven't had a job and they're using it just to maintain and survive. You don't know what people are going through, so you can't knock the situation, how long they're going to be in the situation. We don't know. A lot of celebrities, a lot of influencers, entertainers, you see that they don't have it all. Even if they did, they still have to work to maintain it. So it's just like, the facade is starting to come down. People are starting to be more real with their sufferings and not suffering in silence, is what this channel is about and what I'm all about, because I don't always have it either. It may look like it, but if that's what you see, hey, but I'm telling you, I don't know where to find it. So that's why I be spending time with God, because God will lead the people on my path that's willing to help me. And the people that's going to be real to me, I've been dealing with a lot of people that come as the devil do. Shiny armor, shiny options, a shiny path to my situation, which seems to be a shiny solution. But at the end of the day, I take that option, it turns into I need more help from more people. Fuck with you, whatever. Right? And then you be like, when God allows certain things like that, or you just so egotistical, you put yourself in a bind. You be like, man, Lord, like I don't want to deal with you. You allowing me to go through all this type of stuff. Like I just want the good days, right? It's frustrating. And those times and moments, it do be easy to curse God. I see why a lot of people be choosing to go the other way, right? It's easy. Everybody wants an easy life, frictional path in life. We all desire center and cap. But, it gets boring. It's like, where's the challenges? And then you get complacent in life, and now you're unhappy. Now you're ungrateful, and now everything starts to tumble down. And that's what I mean about balancing in life, right? Once you have it all, you don't have anything to look forward to. You don't have anything to work for. Also, you become so not all people and not every time. But when people get a little bit of money, they forget who you are, they forget who they selves is, and they never return the favor. They won't pay you back. They go buy the latest this, latest that. They go shine on all the Instagram, all of the social medias. You're never invited to their parties. You're not invited to their winnings. You're not invited to spend money with them. But as soon as their well runs dry, they'll be hitting you up, asking for your resources. It is what it is, though, right? That's what people do when they feel like they up, and that's what people do when they are up. They get too besides themselves. They forget how to be humble. They forget how to look out for the little people. They forget that what it takes to be something, to have something, and then vice versa, right? When people are so low, they know how to become humble. They know how to ask for help. They know how to have compassion and empathy for someone sleeping on the street, for someone. You don't forget about those people. You don't forget about people who are mourning in the streets from gun violence. You don't look past those people when you're low, right? But when you're balanced, you do good and happy when you have a little bit. You do good and you're happy when you have a lot. It doesn't affect who you are as a person. And that's where morale comes to place. When you have the mindset of God, you can be content with not having much. You can be content with because as sad as it is, you could be at your worst day, and that could be the best day for somebody else who just want to experience that, right? And the best day of your life can be the worst day for somebody else. So it's just like you never really know. And with that being said, it's just being humble and being balanced in life, Always be mindful that things can be better and things can be worse. So, with that being said, you have a fair chance at making it better or making it worse. And that's just how I look at life. Sometimes you got to let go of everything. Not everybody is going to see life the way that you see it. Not everybody is going to, not y'all in general, right? For the people that's new to my channel, my vibes and frequencies. A dear friend of mine, I'm not going to put her business out there, but shout out to Ghana, some lovely people, lovely women. But my queen, she was like, you got to find your tribe. And the more you give, the more people gonna run to receive. So whenever you do give, whatever you do give, make sure it's something you don't want back. Make sure it's something that you can truly afford to give. And with that being said, I learned how to like say no, like fuck it, right? Like she said, you to set those boundaries so that you don't overextend yourself. And I used to do that a lot. But now that I stopped doing it, I started caring on myself more, pouring more into myself, stop spreading myself thin across the world for everybody and everything. I started losing a lot of friends. I started losing a lot of support, but I started gaining more confidence. I started gaining more energy. I started gaining more insight. I started gaining more clarity on what I need to be doing with my life. I wake up with passion and purpose each day. Not each day I'm happy. Not each day I'm focused where I want to be, but each day I have a mind. Some days I have to just let that day be that and recalibrate my spirit, like inspire myself, start working on myself, pouring into myself. That's why I say I spend a little time inspiring myself, pouring into me, because the world will forget about you when you're dead and gone. That's about the only time you really have peace. That's why they say rest and peace. Because when we're living, it's hard to have a peace of mind because you have to create a space of peace. You have to create a space of happiness. You have to pursue it each day and maintain it. The pursuit of happiness is obtainable, but it's not something you obtain and keep forever. You have to maintain and work on it. And once somebody disrupt your peace, you have to start that mission again. Start that mission again and pursuing your happiness. I'm on here just talking about how I feel, what I've been going through. In case you've been worrying, wondering what's up with me, just trying to get my mind right, my spirit right. I'm focusing on revamping everything, redoing my mindset, redoing what I care about, redoing my everything. I just feel like I've been pouring too much into a situation and into people, and it's just like God been telling me like keep doing this, and He's leading me a different path now. Like I was saying, not everything is for everybody. If we end up on the same, you'll know what path I'm talking about. Behind and nothing like that, or reach each one, leave none behind, because it's so much in the world for everybody. It just for those who want it, they go for it. I'm not finna hold anybody hand and force anybody to, try anything. But what I do is I put out the information and I make it available for those of you who do want something different in life and who are ready to take action and start making it happen for yourself. What I do have to offer you all is live mentorship, those multiple streams of income. What I teach you guys is how to set yourself up to be successful in the online space, in the digital marketing world. I have master resale rate products, 200 product ideas. For those of you who don't have any products, programs, or services, no worries about that. All you do is join my email list down below, free blueprint copy, and I send out newsletters each week with everything in there that you need to know. Also, I created a blog, talks with Angie blogpost.com, talks with Team Angie. In there, I have manageable steps to manage stress and anxiety, tools and steps to take each day for 7 days of the week. Let me see if I can show that to y'all really quick. But yeah, join my email list. It's in there, and I'll be sending them out. Uh, I'm about to just pull this up really, really quick. If I could show y'all my thing, like I got my tabs. Oh yeah, let me just the blog real quick and then we finna be done. I gotta do it one more, and I got like 300 something posts. I mean, uh, blogs. Excuse. So these are my blogs. You can get paid for this too, though. I don't know how much I'll be making off this. I never really check it because like all of the money I'll be making on some stuff, I don't spend it. Well, let me tell you what I do. I make my money go to work for me, right? Like I spend my money on stuff that generate. I buy stocks that pays dividends, meaning I buy it once and then what it does is it collects money from me holding on to shares of a company. So I got that in my Roth account, my retirement account, and different little stuff like that. I got a few different little accounts that's building money. And then on PayPal, I got cryptocurrency that's getting paid, percentages and stuff, different little shit like that, right? That's what I do. I put my money in places where it's going to work. I don't gamble it. I used to. Run this down real quick. These are the latest blogs. These are all my blogs. You get paid by everyone. You get paid for your thoughts. Let me show you my posts. Is let me see real quick. 7 days. Wait. Uh, all right. So here you go. Right here. This the one right here. 7 days to stress-free living. Your step-by-step plan. Go ahead, check that out. And then I got another one. 7 days to ease anxiety, reclaim your spark. So yeah, I got a few of them actually. Y'all want to check them out? These are the blogs that I wrote to help you with stress and anxiety. And then I'm all about making money online. So the rest of these is about the stuff that I got going on, how you can get income and residual income. Now it is difference if you know anything about residual income. I'll just break it down really, really quick, and then we're gonna be shutting it down. I know I said that like 4 or 5 times. So this is passive income. You can make passive income one or two ways. You can make it online or in person. In person is this: an ATM machine or a vending machine. That's passive income, meaning it makes you money with little resources like time, money, and or location to put it. You buy products, which is the money and the time, but putting it in there, setting it up, and then putting it in the location, and you just wait for people to buy out the products to go refill it in. It does it on its own. It's making money for you. You don't have to go actually literally work it. That's passive income. It makes an amount, unknown amount, unknown time. You never know how much it's going to make when. That's passive income in person. Passive income online is this a subscription like YouTube, whoever has YouTube subscriptions or Disney, Netflix. That's passive income as well online. Subscriptions, courses like I have an e-course. Those are passive income online. You can have a trainer or you can have NFTs like I have digital art. That's passive income online. Now residual income is this. And like I said, passive income is basically money that you make an unknown amount, unknown. You know how much you're going to make or when you're going to make. You do a source of income that comes. Like if somebody buy my program right now, you could buy the 100, 300, 600, and 900. Whichever one you buy, I want to know until the money hit, right? And if you buy at 2 o'clock at night, I'm not sure that you might do that, right? But it's possible. So that's passive income online. Anyway, residual income is this: you have a set amount and a certain date, when you get paid. And residual income comes in the form is a real estate first. They get paid a certain amount on the first, or they get paid on the 15th, or whatever. You get paid a certain amount on a certain time each month, or recurring every 2 weeks, like your job paycheck. That's residual income. You know when you get paid, you know how much it's going to be, but that's only if you perform a certain way, meaning you show up, clock in, right? That's almost residual, but not really. It's just steady income. It's not residual. And the difference is between the two is residual comes time it comes. Steady comes a ballpark figure roughly around the same time, usually around the same time, ballpark figure. You don't know how much it's going to be depending on your efforts you put into that ballpark figure, meaning you showed up late, you miss a little bit of time, or you don't show up at all, you miss a day, and or you get sent home early. You know, those things factor into that ballpark number that you're looking forward to, that's steadily coming, right? That's steady income. But anyway, I hope you guys are enlightened by anything too, because I chat for a bit. I'm just my mind and just sharing my experiences, why I'm so close with God, why I advocate for Jesus Christ, and what type of stuff I've been through in life, right? Like you'd be surprised that black people be going through stuff. The people like me, look like me, experience these type of things. It's not nothing that I go searching for. It's not nothing that I desire. It's just what comes to me. It's what my life has been about, right? Because this is what I need to be doing right here, right now. Those experiences back then to help me relate to somebody who's going through it or who may be on their way to it. And hopefully that I can help you get through it and not get to it, because these are scary situations in life. And I don't wish them on nobody. You know, it's hard enough getting through life worried about whatever you worry about. But when you start dealing with spiritual things like this and they come in a scary form, there's really nothing you can really do about it. Showing that he has your back and that you have full authority over all these things. Like I was telling you about the shadow person, like, I don't know what that was about. Like I didn't even know these things exist, you know. But hey, it is what it is, right? And you just got to be vigilant. You know, God will let you know, like, there's stuff around all the time. Maybe those are the things that's feeding thoughts to your mind, why you can't seem to win certain battles of the mind. But I encourage you all to be vigilant, to be mindful, be present. To be present is to be aware, and to be aware is to be alive. You'll be able to be lost and transform those thoughts as quickly as they come. Whenever some telling you you're not capable of completing a goal, whenever some tell you anything that's counterproductive to who you are and who you are trying to become, you transfer those thoughts into something positive. That's how you keep guarding your mind, keep guarding your energy, and that's how you stay on top of your game, no matter if you feel it down or not. Because you might be down now, but tomorrow is a different day. Tomorrow is a different story. You know, these down moments are necessary. Maybe it's saving you from the harm and danger that you're going to be around when you ran outside into it. Maybe it's saving you from a heartache, you know. Maybe it's just something to humble you. Who knows? I don't know. But anyway, peace and blessings from Team Angie. Much love. Peace. Thanks for tuning in. And if you are new, I encourage you to subscribe